the demon who secretly rules Noxus, Mordekaiser and Swain's master. Before the Empire, there was war. Before Noxus became the sprawling, formidable empire we know today, the lands were fractured battlegrounds contested by disparate warrior tribes, collectively known as the Noxi. For those who don't know, because we don't know how much lore everyone knows, this is Noxus over here. This is where Mordekaiser originated. Obviously, this is present day, called Noxus, but originally it was called Nox-E, with 2 I's. But there's no I in team, so they changed it to S. Among them rose a mortal man of unmatched ambition and strength, Sahn-Uzal. He was an undefeated conqueror who bent the world to his will, a tyrant who would not be denied his throne, even by death itself. This is the origin story of the man who would become Mordekaiser, a tale that laid the very foundation of Noxus. And if you haven't seen this is the Sahn-Uzal cinematic.
I am Sahn-Uzal, unconquered king of the Noxii, tyrant of the great grass ocean, follower of the first truth.
I'm only gonna play a little bit.
The strong eat, while the weak have no offerings for their gods.
All right, I'm definitely gonna stop it right there because we got a lot to talk about. Sahn-Uzal was a devout follower of a brutal creed known as the First Truth. You just heard that the strong devour the weak. And for him, this was the only path to eternal glory in the promised afterlife, the Hall of Bones.
Hope for eternal glory in the Hall of Bones.
In the Hall of Bones. Okay, keep that in mind. His entire crusade of conquest was fueled by this belief. But where did he get this belief from? Where did it originate? The lore strongly suggests a hidden manipulator, or as Sahn-Uzal contemplates offerings for his gods, he receives a vision, a colossal dark fortress emanating a sinister red glow, the immortal Bastion. This vision likely came not from a god, but from a demon. The most powerful entity ever known to be imprisoned within the Bastion is Raum, the demon of secrets. I don't actually think he's been imprisoned there. I think that this fortress, you can see right here.
Gods. No.
Guys, that's the immortal Bastion. He's saying, at the same time he's showing you the immortal Bastion, he's saying no offering for their gods. The immortal Bastion was an offering for whatever god Mordekaiser believed he was worshipping by being strong and oppressing the weak and going through this whole rampage. This was an offering. He literally says it.
For eternal glory.
The god also promised him eternal glory in the Hall of Bones. And this isn't the first time. Look at what we're looking at now, today. The dark and impersonating the good like spirit realm creatures in Ionia. It's not the first time we've seen a dark creature try to impersonate something good and manipulate mortals. And then you could see, this is what Raum looks like, what we see today, because Swain technically is fused with Raum. Anytime you see this raven, every time you see that raven, that's Raum. But obviously it's gonna have 3 eyes. Okay, a 3-eyed raven, that's Raum every time. Obviously this time it's Swain. I'm saying like that is Raum's power. So keep that in mind. That's all I wanted to show you. That's from Arcane. So if you haven't seen Arcane, a little bit of a spoiler, but there's a raven at the end. At this point, if you haven't seen Arcane, I don't know if you're ever going to watch it. So I don't want to hear the whole spoiler thing anymore about it. Demons thrive by consuming what defines them. And for Raum, the sustenance is secrets. Battlefields are a feast for Raum, as he can harvest the secrets of the dying. This is literally how Jericho Swain eventually discovers Raum's existence centuries later during the Ionian War. This pivotal moment is detailed in his official biography. This is from his biography right here, Emperor. This is at the time Borm Darkwill was in charge. After seducing Darkwill, the man they failed to overthrow, all this was glimpsed not in the mind of a raven, but in something more. That's it right there. He's literally telling you, Raum likes to go on battlefields and steal secrets from the dying. That's one of the things Raum likes to do, and we know demons get more powerful the more that they consume whatever defines them. In the case of Raum, it's secrets. If we go to like Fiddlesticks, League of Legends voice lines, look, Raum. That's when he encounters Swain, right? It says, first encounter with Swain, he says Raum. He doesn't even call him Swain, he calls him Raum. What's his second encounter if he kills Swain?
Secrets.
Literally says secrets. Raum is definitely the demon of secrets. If we look at the demonology chart of Runeterra, that's assuming, Fiddlesticks can be trusted. Let's hope that he can, right? We got this demonology chart that I showed you guys last time. You can see secrets right here under the fear tree. There you go, secrets. Under fear tree, fear is fiddlesticks. You can see that he's that red circle right there. He's one of the 10 demon kings. So I think it's like the fear, it has to do with fear. So I think it's the fear of like secrets being known, or the fear of secrets people keep, that kind of thing. But I guess that fear is amplified on a battlefield. Like if you're about to die, there's no chance you have of keeping your secret or maintaining the secret, right? Now you're dead. There's nothing you can do. People figure it out. It's over. Or maybe you feel like the horror of like a secret that you kept that you never told. You never cleared it up before you died. So maybe that power of stealing a secret is amplified on a battlefield full of dying people. Like that when someone's dying, they think on their secrets. That's my theory. And that's why Raum really likes battlefields. It's highly probable that Raum presented himself as a deity to Sahn-Uzal, promising him eternal glory in the Hall of Bones. In return, Sahn-Uzal's endless conquests could create a perpetual feast for the demon. Raum gave the conqueror a blueprint for a fortress that would serve as a conduit, a seat of power, and a monument to his god. In reality, that god was Raum, so it's a fortress and a conduit and a seat of power and a monument built for Raum.
A reckoning awaited. So I darkened the skies with the ashes of the unworthy, and built a kingdom upon sacrifice and blood.
Okay, we need to stop it right there, because that's massive. That is massive, guys. Okay, note the structure here, okay? Note the structure. You guys see like the two pillars jutting up. There's a little gap in the middle. You can see some red showing through from the background sky. Sahn-Uzal set out to build the fortress from his vision. Remember the vision? We saw it up here. I paused it. Let me put this over here. The vision. He saw the fortress. This is a long time ago, okay? Don't expect this guy to be making a freaking metal fortress jutting out of the sky with these points. This is like tribal times. This is as close as he could get. This is as close as he could get, guys. Is Mordekaiser a Thanos level villain? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Mordekaiser is definitely that level of like world ending. If he ever shows up, it's going to be a problem. All of Runeterra is doomed in a lot of ways. Look at this. That's all he could do, guys, is build this crude structure of two rocks almost touching each other, but he got close enough. The gap in the middle, decent. These two structures on the side are shorter than the middle part. He's got that. It's just a pile of rocks, but he's got it. The shape is there. The immortal bastion through the frickin' ages, guys. Sahn-Uzal set out to build the fortress from his vision. While he may not have had the arcane means to fully realize Raum's spectral blueprint, he created a formidable stronghold that would become the heart of his empire, and eventually Noxus itself. Its form has evolved over the millennia, but the dark purpose remains. Raum's spectral blueprint, a fortress of impossible scale and magical power, shown to Sahn-Uzal. The fortress. Look at this. The mortal creation, Sahn-Uzal's construction. A physical fortress built to the best of his people's ability, the first iteration of the immortal bastion. You can't tell me these aren't the same thing. The modern empire, the immortal bastion as it stands today at the center of Noxus Prime, a dark and imposing symbol of the empire's might. The vision, the first iteration, current Noxus. It's literally the same structure over and over and over again. So whoever showed Mordekaiser this is running Noxus. And I don't think this is just like, I don't think Mordekaiser had a creative mind, that this was just his thinking and he was like, I'm just going to envision what I want to build, and this is what I want to build with all these points and this jetting structure and exactly. And I'm literally going to prove it to you 100% that it wasn't Mordekaiser that was just envisioning this out of his own creativity. That guy didn't have a creative mind, okay? The most creative thing he was able to do was just kill people. After a lifetime of unparalleled conquest, Sahn-Uzal finally fell in battle. He crossed into the Death Realm expecting his promised reward, a glorious Hall of Bones. Instead, he found only emptiness and oblivion. The vision of his eternal fortress crumbled into dust, and ghostly hands, souls of the forgotten, reached out to drag him into nothingness. Here you go.
In time, I left the husk of mortality behind and prepared to learn the final truth.
What's the final truth? Okay, guys.
There were no gods.
Okay, hold on. Look at this. First, there's two things that I really want to point out in this cinematic. Three, actually, left in this area. Look at this structure. What does this resemble? What does it resemble? What the heck does this resemble, this structure that he's seeing in the Hall of Bones? First of all, it looks like hands, for one, and it has that same gap and the two jetting structures that we've seen over and over and over again throughout this cinematic and throughout Noxus now, because it has to do with the Immortal Bastion. But this one is in the spirit realm, and it almost looks like it's like a conduit pulling all of this stuff through and out into this area. So it's like sucking it up through the structure and then pushing it out. You can see little flecks going around it and stuff. Here, watch. Look at the direction of the stuff. It's coming out of it, not going into it. It's coming out of it. This is a conduit within the spirit realm, and this is its tie to the material realm. It's inverted. Keep in mind, the spirit realm is a reflection of the material realm in a lot of ways. If you took this image and flipped this over 360, or not 360, well 180, it's literally just like the souls go in, down, and then on the other side, they come out and pour into this realm. And hands itself are pretty important. So this is Fortress Crumbling. I have it right there again, the image, because I thought it was really important.
There were no gods.
Look at the hands.
No Hall of Bones.
Okay, it's officially sucked all the souls that just died. It happens in iterations, and now it falls apart. Okay? So the next time a bunch of souls die, they'll get sucked in, this will get built up, and it'll push through. The towering structure he sees resembles the Immortal Bastion, but this time it's two hands reaching upward. You can still see the same gap in the center that we see in all iterations of Immortal Bastion. The imagery of grasping hands is a recurring motif for demonic influence in Runeterra, often representing fear, despair, and stolen dreams. Keep in mind that Secret's realm is literally on the fear tree under Fiddlesticks. The imagery of grasping hands is a recurring motif for demons. Now look at Lux Illuminated. Look at her art. You can literally see, where am I? You can literally see in Lux Illuminated art, look at the hands reaching out. This is Dreamlight Alina. She's also has to do with Lux's dream. This is all Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks who's attacking Luxana in her dream. And just note like the hands. See all the hands on the side coming out, reaching for her? And then even Ashlesh, guys, even Ashlesh literally has hands as part of her, like, the only image we have of Ashlesh has hands coming out of it. Hands are a big part of, whenever you see hands, just think demons, honestly, in Runeterra. And you can see all the hands where Lux, when Lux's dream, Ram's reaching out to her, Ashlesh is literally just a bunch of hands. The lie was revealed there was no hollow bones. Ram had tricked him, using his ambition to fuel a millennia of slaughter, simply to feast on secrets. The death realm he ended up in is Mitna Raknun. In Mitna Raknun was not a heaven, but an empty wasteland. Perhaps even Ram's own domain in the spirit world, where souls were siphoned by the Immortal Bastion.
No eternal glory.
Look at the souls being drained, literally turned to ash. Now, I don't think this is intentional.
Sahn, the unconquered, and I will forge the kingdom I was denied.
Then Sahn-Uzal living and then coming back is a very good thing, right? So Sahn-Uzal's will was too strong to fade. Fueled by pure hatred for deception, he refused oblivion. He would not be given a kingdom in the afterlife. He would build one from the souls and ashes around him. The indomitable will transformed him, foreshadowing the Iron Revenant he was to become. Now, if this wasn't intentional, then okay, I think Realm looks after that moment where Sahn-Uzal kind of forces his existence to continue and then utilizes that. Or it's literally intentional, which is even crazier, that Ram would look into the future and be like, hey, this guy might still be useful. I'm going to let him live. In his official biography, we learn that Sahn-Uzal's mastered the forbidden language of Aknun and whispered across the veil to a coven of mortal sorcerers, power-hungry sorcerers. Instead, he slew them where they stood. Mordekaiser's second reign was even more brutal than his first. He massacres seemed endless, but they served a dual purpose: expanding his earthly empire and populating his new death realm with souls for his eternal army. This, of course, continued to serve Ram's interests perfectly, and his biography once again hints at the demon's presence. He raised the Immortal Bastion at the center of his empire. While most assumed it was merely a seat of power, some came to know the secrets it held. It literally says, guys, I'm going to pause the music because I really want you guys to hear this. This line is so freaking important to the theory. He raised the immortal bastion at the center of his empire. We've already established that this was, who told him to make this? The god that supposedly didn't even give him like the time of day when he died.
While the weak have no offerings for their gods, no hope for eternal.
The whole point of this structure was it was an offering for his gods, which in this case we're saying was Realm. And it was supposed to help him get to the Hall of Bones. And so he built a crude formation of it here. Why would he continue and build it again in his second life? Why would he? What's the point of that? How does that make any sense at all? Unless it's actually useful to an actual person who's pretending to be a god, who's manipulating Mordekaiser. While most assumed it was merely a seat of power, some came to know the secrets it held. What secrets did the Immortal Bastion hold? Well, why not Realm, the demon of secrets, the most powerful thing we've... he literally is in the Immortal Bastion at this time. Realm is there. The Reign of Terror only ended when a powerful alliance, including the progenitors of the Black Rose, LeBlanc, and the Hemomancer Vladimir, managed to sever his soul from his armor, banishing him to the mortal plane.
But our history is a beautiful lie, like the countless seeds I planted over the centuries. I took a rabble of barbarians and whispered to them dreams of empire.
Guys, this whole thing is talking about a lie. And what's the first lie?
The countless seeds I planted over the centuries.
Look at that. There's the Immortal Bastion. You could see freaking Mordekaiser behind them. LeBlanc and Vladimir were really the ones to stop Mordekaiser. Although, it was all a part of Mordekaiser's plan. The unseen war, LeBlanc, Swain, and the lingering threat. Mordekaiser's banishment was not a defeat, but a calculated part of his master plan. He returned to Mitnareknu, no longer an empty wasteland, but a burgeoning empire built from the very souls he had condemned. Every single soul that dies goes there. He is there now, forging his afterworld, preparing for a permanent return that no one knows how to stop. The Immortal Bastion remains the key in LeBlanc's color story, Thorns of the Black Rose. Let me get to that. I want to point out one more thing that I didn't mention in this article, but I want to mention it for those who are watching this live. Over here in Tereshni, during the book Ambessa is over here in Kumangra. She then journeys to Tereshni, where her father is dying. And her first question is to her father, asking him, have you seen visions of the Immortal Bastion? This is because people, for some reason, who die near Noxus or in Noxus, they don't have visions of kindred, which is what you're supposed to have. Yo, hope you're having a great day. You too, individual. You too. People are supposed to be having visions of the or having visions of kindred when they're dying. That's the god of death in Runeterra. It's like a wolf and a fox. If you don't know who they are, just know that they're the god of death. That's what most people have visions of when they're dying. And some people, like if you're in the Noxus of the Freljord, they hope to see the wolf. They want to fight their death. And then other people want to see the lamb, like in Demacia. In Noxus, they have visions of the Immortal Bastion. He's in Tereshni, and Ambessa asks him, are you having visions of the Immortal Bastion, grandfather? And he says, no, I've been having visions of the lamb and the wolf. I don't think I actually think he's having visions of the lamb, which is what Ambessa has when she is about to die in Rockrun. She has visions of the lamb and wolf. You can see her whole cinematic here. If you go to Ambessa, there's a crazy Ambessa cinematic. Okay? Right here. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I think this song is copyright though, so I can't really play it. But yeah, Ambessa is dying here on the battlefield, right? And she has visions. She sees the wolf approach her. And then she has this whole vision of the lamb and the wolf, and she's being tested and all that. And you could see really good image of the lamb here, I think, towards the end. Yeah, right here. This is the lamb offering her. Yeah. So this whole cinematic is literally Ambessa's death vision. Now, here's the theory. It all aligns. It literally fits with the theory as well. So she's in Rockrun, no vision of Immortal Bastion. He's in Tereshni, no vision of Immortal. No people all over the world are having visions of Immortal Bastion unless you're over here in Noxus. That's because when people are dying near the Immortal Bastion, their soul is getting siphoned to Mitnareknun and not the Death Realm as they're supposed to, which is Kindred's realm. There's a non-zero chance Ambessa ends up among Mord's army I'd imagine. Well, where does Mbessa die? Mbessa dies over here in Piltover. So would Mbessa, is she in the range to go to Mitnaraknoon? I actually don't think so. I think this is out of Mbessa, out of the range of the Immortal Bastion. So I don't think Mbessa is going to be found in the army of Mordekaiser, unless they like somehow make it where the range is extended. By the theory, if we're going with the theory, which I truly believe I'm right, guys. I wouldn't make up the theory. I'm not just going to give you guys a theory for the clicks. I promise you, like, I actually believe this stuff. Okay. But yeah, I think this is out of the range. And so she is likely going to the regular Death Realm. Now, will we ever go there? It's possible. I don't really like to explore death too much. I feel like when a character dies, there needs to be some permanence in there. So I think Mbessa truly went to like the Lamb and the Wolf's realm, and she went to not Mitnaraknoon, which is if you're close enough to the Mortal Bastion. But hey, characters don't die in Runeterra. There's a lot of plot armor. The threat. Okay, we know Mordekaiser banishment. It was all part of his plan. He goes there. That's where all the souls went, which is why he killed everyone around Noxus. He didn't just start like heading towards the Freljord. The Immortal Bastion remains the key. In LeBlanc's color story, Thorn of the Black Rose, she reveals its true nature to a disgruntled general. This is the cover art for it. This is that general, and LeBlanc is manipulating him. 3 LeBlancs actually are manipulating him. Here's a quote from it. We stand at the edge of the great well of souls. We stand at the edge of the great well of souls, guys. That's at the bottom of the Immortal Bastion, plunging down into the bedrock of Noxus, so it goes down. A roiling miasma of cold blues and jealous green swirls in the distance beneath us. There, between them, suspended against the madness, is a frightful hulking silhouette that every Noxian knows too well. What does it say? Cold blues and jealous greens. What did we see before when he was in Mitnaraknoon? There's the cold blues, and the jealous greens come a little bit from Mordekaiser. But you can see a lot of the cold blues here. Again, just think about it as a siphon. Souls come in, go down to like the bottom of the Immortal Bastion, and then they exit over here. Remember, it's going the opposite direction, so the souls are literally getting pumped into Mitnaraknoon. This confirms the Bastion's function as a soul funnel, because there's literally a freaking well of souls at the bottom of it. This confirms the Bastion's function as a soul funnel for Mordekaiser's realm. Everything LeBlanc does is a desperate effort to prepare for his inevitable return. This puts her in direct conflict with the Grand General Swain, who now wields the power of the very demon that orchestrated Mordekaiser's rise. And you wonder why LeBlanc and Swain are so adversarial. First, I mean, Swain didn't really like the Black Rose because they were a secret cabal. But now it seems like they're pretty much rivals.
I have the vision to see what others cannot. The monsters of today will be the heroes of tomorrow. And by my hand will Noxus rise once more.
And there's Raum. His new vessel is Swain. Why does it keep... I need to fix that where it keeps going to the top with these articles. The central conflict of Noxus is a proxy war fought in the shadows. LeBlanc fights to prevent Mordekaiser's return, while Swain wields Raum's power, believing he controls it. But others see the truth that the man and the demon are intertwined, perhaps more than Swain himself realizes. This is Neela's line to Swain in League of Legends.
We are not alike, Jericho Swain. I know the price I paid.
She's implying that Swain has no idea the price that he actually paid when it came to Mordekaiser, when it came to Raum and the Demon of Secrets. And then in Legends of Runeterra, he says,
By my hand will Noxus rise.
And LeBlanc's reply is,
By which hand? The man's or the demon's?
So she's literally saying, like, which hand is actually controlling everything, the man's or the demon's? So how much control does Swain actually have? So sure. Perhaps LeBlanc fears that Swain, in his arrogance, is simply another pawn in Raum's eternal game, a game that began with Sahn-Uzal and will end with the final terrible return of the Iron Revenant. And that's my theory, guys. That is my theory for Forged in Death, the true origins of Mordekaiser and Noxus, the demon who secretly rules Noxus, Mordekaiser, and Swain's master. So would Swain potentially find out about Mordekaiser through Raum somehow? I don't think Raum cares to tell Swain about Mordekaiser. I think Raum is very comfortable in the shadows right now. He's not like... Raum is just kind of in the shadows right now. I don't think that he would tell Swain about Mordekaiser, because that would kind of reveal Raum's plan and Raum's what he's trying to do, which is to pump souls to Noon and gain more power. I think ideally for Raum, he would want Mordekaiser to build his eternal army, right? Because Mordekaiser already traveled to the material realm. He was able to do some damage for sure in his second life. You know, he rebuilt the Mortal Bastion. He killed a lot of people, which was great for Raum. Now, where's Mordekaiser? He's in Noon, and he's built up this whole army of just people who are dead, who are under his control. Ideally, he would want Mordekaiser to return and build immortal bastions all over Runeterra. Build one here, build one here, build one in Targon, build one in Demacia, build one in Freljord, everywhere. Now, Mordekaiser alone is not powerful enough to do that. Mordekaiser with an eternal undead army, all under his control, now that could build immortal bastions all over Runeterra. And if you put immortal bastions everywhere, like we said, it has a range. Well, now every single soul is being siphoned to Noon. At that point, maybe he'll keep Mordekaiser around, maybe he won't. I still don't know if that was intentional. Like, did he actually intend for Mordekaiser to survive this, and now he's just like trying to utilize it to his strength? Or did Mordekaiser's real will kind of come into play here, and now he's still capitalizing on it and hoping that he'll deal with it later once he has all the souls being siphoned to Noon? I don't know. That's the one chink there. If Mordekaiser realizes that Raum is kind of manipulating him this whole time, will he go against him? Or is Mordekaiser truly like just being manipulated completely, and Raum could have absorbed him at this point, but just chose not to? That's the only piece that we still don't know, in my theory. But yeah, build these up, put a Mortal Bastion here, put an Immortal Bastion here, put a Mortal Bastion in freaking the Bandlewoods and start sucking up Yordle spirits, whatever. And the more souls that go there, the more Raum will become powerful. And maybe Swain, he utilized Swain here. Let's say Raum is just freaking 5D chess genius, demon of secrets after all. He tricks Swain into showing what he'll see that will drive Swain to the Immortal Bastion to fuse with him so he can begin work on bringing Mordekaiser back. Because at this point, Mordekaiser has his eternal army. All right, guys. Next topic. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Don't forget, you can find all of these articles on riotgrove.com. We got a lore library. We already went through a deep dive of the Trials of Twilight. So if you missed any of these, like, you can just go reread these articles, or you can watch the videos.